Hello, everybody. We are live with Shian. This is Lucas and Shian from Alma. And we want to share with every student out there, college student who is looking for an internship. We want to share a couple of resources that we have. I teach a couple of places, and one of them I teach undergrad, and my students are looking for internships, and some of them already have internships. Some are still looking for internships. So when I discovered this article, I immediately thought, why not sharing with them? And we are very lucky to have in our team at Alma, Shian, who is currently an undergrad student. And I'll let Shian introduce himself. So please tell us about you, Shian.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Cheyenne Morrison. I'm currently an undergrad at University of Central Florida, studying computer science. And currently I am a junior getting ready to graduate as a senior, and I have an internship this summer. And I'm speaking with Lucas here. I've worked on Alma. I've been a junior developer for almost 6 months now and helped create Alma AI, and we're going to show off ways to use almma AI to gain an internship.
Yes, terrific. Thank you. Okay, so first thing we want to share with everybody here is an article we found on Harvard Business Publishing. And I'm going to share screen. Obviously, everybody should be seeing right now. And this is written by Professor Chamorro Premusic. If I'm pronouncing correctly, we're going to call him Professor Tom. I hope, Mr. Chamorro Premusic, that you don't mind that we call you Professor Tom. But Professor Tom published a very interesting article on how to use generative AI. In our case, we're going to try it with Capable, and to help in the process of finding an internship. So you can go and read this by yourselves. Harvard publishes very high quality type of content. But one thing that came to mind right away is asking Capable to summarize this for us. So very simply, I copy that, and I'm going to say, okay, provide a summary of these paragraphs. I add below. So I like doing this on every time I prompt, it try to signal the language model that I am asking for something that is below. It's not necessarily mandatory, but it helps a lot, right? So we give Capable a little bit of time to react, and it will create a summary. So let's take a few seconds to read. I want to make it shorter. Just 2 or 3 bullet points, right? What do you think, Cheyenne? Is this summary helpful?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Explains how using AI can help in a tougher market. And having the ability to summarize on Capable Almma is really nice. Makes it easier to understand, as well as we are using AI here to to help us get an internship, as well as help us understand the article about getting an internship. So this is nice.
Great, great. Reduce students' anxiety, improve chances. Yes, you know what comes to mind? A student reached out to me before the winter break last year. She got all of a sudden an email saying that somebody wanted to interview her, and it was for a kind of position that she would have loved to land, but she never practiced for that. And I was in the middle of a trip outside abroad, I don't remember where. And I read the email like a day later, right? And it felt so bad because I couldn't help her. But what came to mind is like, if you use Capable, at that time it wasn't live, but this could help, right? Is it this machine is ready for you to use it at any point, any time, doesn't matter, holidays and 24/7. So it can help you reduce reduce the anxiety as said here. Okay, so let's move on. Next step is to gather intelligence on the culture of using AI. This is also something I discuss with you. I don't know what your experience is, Cheyenne, but I tell my students all the time, make sure you like the place where you're going to work.
Mhm.
Make sure that you appreciate it. It helps you more than just getting experience or getting exposure and some money from internships, right? But
Yeah.
so cultural fit is extremely important. What do you think? How have you navigated that when looking for an internship?
Yeah, I tend to when I'm applying to companies, usually I'll go through a third party website like LinkedIn, or Indeed, and when I find a company that I would like to apply to, I head to their website themselves, and usually they have an about us or some information about the company themselves, and I like to just understand what the culture is from that and what their uh main product or main vision is. A lot of it is important. I know students during internships really don't care. A lot of times they're just, I just need something, please, anybody. But it is also important to know because a lot of times you'll work at these places for the summer and you may get an offer to come back and you don't want to go somewhere that you may not want to work long term, even if it's just a short term internship. So I definitely always try to check the website out, check if I can even something I even like to do is on LinkedIn, I'll search the company and in the company, when you get to the company page, you can see the people who work for the company and I'll message some of them and I'll say, hey, I applied
Mm.
recently. Can you give me some information about what it's like to work here in this position specifically? So I look for people that are in my position that I'm going to apply to, as well as at that company, and I try to get a conversation with them. And
Terrific.
that's really good.
Yeah, great points. Great points. Networking is extremely helpful all the time. I tell my students the same thing. You have to reach out to people, see what they say about the company, right? So
Yeah.
let's run this prompt. Um, what company would you like to use? You choose here.
um, let's go with something that let's go with a popular company. I think that would be interesting to know about. Let's go with Google.
Okay, so let's see. What kind of culture I expect if I join Google? And here we were very unsophisticated, very simple, just we prompted the question, right? Because we
Yeah.
can get very sophisticated with this and make it work better for us. We can ask it to act as a career advisor. We could ask it to act as a counselor, and Capable will perform way better. But it's very interesting to hear, to read what it's saying. Let's take a second. I like that 20% policy. That's very
Yeah, it's really
interesting.
cool. Yeah. Nice.
You find interesting on the feedback here that would grab your attention, help you as an applicant?
Yeah, personally, I'm someone who really enjoys doing side projects, or in collaborating. So knowing that they have that 20% time policy where you can spend 20% of your time on projects outside of your job responsibilities is really important. I think it gives you the freedom to not only do what you do at work, but continue growing as a developer, continue learning new technologies, continue making things that generally you enjoy and a lot of companies don't give you that option, so that's really cool. As well as the focus on employee well-being, I think knowing that you can get free meals, fitness center, they keep you happy and healthy. I think that's really cool. You know, a lot of times you're going to be working on very hard projects at these companies, and morality can be low depending on how many hours you're putting in. But for them to offer some amenities for you, I think that's important, and that would make me excited to work somewhere like this. So this is great, and I see a lot of other information here that I would like to know about. And Capable Almma does a good job of summarizing into bullet points and numbers and giving you an idea of what to expect in a company like this.
So I know from working with you for several months that you would appreciate an openness and collaboration environment, right?
Yeah.
You like talking to people, you like conversing and discussing things, and you're always open to listen, and you share your thoughts. And so that's very important, to know yourself and match what you understand about yourself with the culture there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. So let's see what comes next in the article. So their response, the response that Professor Tom got is a little bit shorter, and that's all right. I think we're using the latest, we're using a 4th generation language model, and they tend to be more complete, if you will, right? But always you can use a summary instruction. You can tell it to summarize it down or boil it down to a few paragraphs if you find it to be too short. So what's the next one? Let's go and see how does it react to what are the downsides and negatives of Google's culture? Let's see if it's critical of Google. How does it? Hopefully nobody in Google takes issue on this, and we're picking them up. Intense work environment. I think you mentioned this, right? There is an expectation that engineering always has that part, right?
Yeah. Those top companies, those FANG companies expect a lot. They give you a lot of great compensation, but they do expect a lot of work to be done. And that's where you have to decide whether or not that's something part of your personality. You know, if work-life balance is very important to you, you know, maybe something like this isn't the best because of due to the amount of work that may be placed on you. Also, bullet point 3 is something that I know about as well. There's going to be a lot of bureaucracy, you know. A lot of it's going through a lot of headcounts, a lot of higher ups in order before decisions are made. It isn't free forming like a side project where we make a decision, we do it. It's going through a lot of that, and it may take some time for you to be in a critical role or even work on a critical part of the part of a project, and you may have to deal with some patience. And if you have that and you know that that's something you want, then this may not be a problem for you. But if you're someone who likes to get in the nitty gritty and work on important parts of project, you may want to look at something else, maybe a smaller company that has that availability for you.
Think about what we went through earlier today, right? That we were looking through tickets and we made a modification on the fly. We didn't want to do something. We said, okay, let's stop investing time on that, and we just go and do this simple thing, right?
Yeah.
And it took like 3 minutes to make the decision. And I want to say a lot, if not like big chunk of the code right now running on Capable came from your fingers, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. A lot of it.
imagine going to a larger system. They call it bureaucracy here. So very massive corporation where shipping something, making it go live takes time. I don't know if weeks or months, but yes.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Great. Okay, what else? So the response here is aversion to conflict. I think this is a very highly summarized report, right up on the article, right?
Yep.
Capable gave us several bullet points here to consider. And what is next? Work with AI to unpack keywords in job descriptions. So have you done anything around keywords in job searches and job descriptions with your search of an internship? I'm curious.
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to like keywords, I know how important it is to get those keywords placed on your resume. As a student, you know, the importance of keywords may seem minimal, but when a recruiter or a company is looking at you, they want to see that your values and your key projects and key contributions matter to them, right? So if you're someone who's hardworking, due diligent, and also communicative, a company that has those same values will love to see that on your resume and vice versa. So you typically, using AI to look for companies that match your natural personality may be easier and better for you, and you wouldn't have to put in such, wouldn't have to change too much. You can be yourself in an interview, and you'll be able to land a job maybe easier that way. I think a lot of people, especially students, like I said, want internships anywhere. So we look at keywords, we change our resume, match the company's keywords. But at the end of the day, you're going to go through maybe 2 rounds of interviews with someone, and they're going to learn a lot from you by how you conversate and how you explain yourself and what you talk about. So you should be honest on your resume, and also look for companies that are more aligned with how you think and your personality and values. So that's important for me as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's just terrific. So here, this prompt actually talks about business development, but to make it accurate or applicable to your role, your angle of things, how would you like to describe this?
I would probably say software. So instead of business development, maybe we'll look at software development.
We run it, yeah.
Yep.
So when it types the 3 values, what do you think about personality traits?
Yeah, I think that's all of this is accurate. Like I said, for me, it's interesting because like I said, I like to do side projects. I like to work on new things as much as possible, and having a curiosity and love for learning is very important. I think software evolves very fast, consistently, continuously. New companies are being created, AI models are being created, frameworks are being created and adjusted, and you have to have the ability to adapt and also be willing to learn, because a lot of work is going to be put on you to use those tools and frameworks to create. So having that is very important, as well as the analytical thinking. Problem solving is very important. I think being a natural problem solver, you're probably like problem solve throughout your life, not just software. Maybe you'll see a friend with a problem and you're over here like, well, here's how we can fix this. And having that natural skill is very important as well, because you're going to be the software development. I think there's 80% problems and then 20% creation, at least on the job. You're getting things that need to be fixed, and bugs and issues and things that need to be adjusted. You need to have the ability to think about that and being persistent. That's, like I mentioned, there's going to be a lot of bugs. I think I think bugs are more common than anything. I mean, you're working and creating new things, and new people are trying it, customers are trying it, and they're going to use it, and they're going to use it in ways you probably never thought of, and that's where the bug comes up. So human error is very hard to predict. So you got to be willing to persevere through issues like that and not get upset. Don't get too attached to bugs. That's part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've shipped a lot of things that later we discovered didn't perform the way we wanted, or change our minds, right? We thought we wanted this, and then all of a sudden we said, no, it actually, it shouldn't be that way. We should be this way, right? And it's very natural to feel frustrated. Leading, I can share this, leading a team of developers, I need to be cognizant of the fact that I need to communicate all the time clearly. And sometimes I don't even know. And I have to say, I don't know.
Yeah.
And when I say that, it's with expectation that it's a little bit of a warning. Hey, we may go over and redo it all over again, right? And so it's very important to have persistence and resilience in every line of work. I can tell you, my business students, I tell them same thing, right? You need to grow those muscles. So it's not only developing code that you need to go into there. So
Yeah.
great. Anything else that grabs your attention here?
Yeah, something when you look at skills, something that I think a lot of people in software development slash engineering don't really focus on, but I think is very important is the communication skills.
Yeah.
I think being able to communicate is very important because you're going to be working on a part of the project that maybe you're going to be communicating to maybe marketing. I know at our team we have marketing, we have our managers, we have our QA, we have other people who aren't always indulged in code, but you still need to be able to properly explain what you've done and what you're doing. So being able to communicate what you're working on, or something that you think needs to be changed, or problems that you're stuck on, and being able to adjust it to depending on who you're talking to, and being clear about it is very important. I think that's probably the most important because as developers, I know a lot of people tend to get very deep in the code and focused, but there's going to be other people to explain it to and share it with. And if you're unable to do that, I think that can lead to a lot of roadblocks and slower development because everyone's confused and lost. So having the ability to communicate is very important. I think that can be hidden and not really speaking about a lot. Everyone gets technical, but you should be able to communicate, and working on that skill is going to be very important.
Absolutely. And we didn't practice this, right?
No,
You're saying
no,
exactly, you're reading my mind here. Is it so important to have the ability to explain what you're doing, what do you need, why is it's a roadblock, if it is a roadblock, what questions is so critical for any team to function, right? And we at Alma, we have several extra layers of difficulty, right? We are across continents, across time zones, across cultures, and communication is extremely challenging in every setting, right? So we have to be cognizant, just like I'm talking to 3-4 different people. We use language different ways, right?
yeah,
And explaining very complex things in software or business in simple terms is extremely valuable.
yes,
So, terrific. All right, so let's do a few more. We are getting into the half-hour zone, and we don't want to bore people with a very long video.
yeah,
So this is something I get asked a lot, right? And the more you do interviews, the better it goes.
yeah.
So guidance on how to answer potential interview questions. There are several prompts here. Let's take a few seconds and let me know if you want to run one of these or run a different one. And let's do that one as the last, and let's close.
Yeah. I definitely think that question right there, what are some common questions? That's something I've looked up personally. Um,
Yeah.
due to the fact that you know, you want to know what to expect. Internships are interviews are unpredictable. Many times I've looked at questions about what a job will ask, and they've asked none of them.
Huh.
But yeah, but looking at that, practicing gave me still had me work on my communication skills, and
Mm,
and had me prepared anyways.
mm,
And even though they weren't the exact same questions, I was able to understand how to answer questions the correct way.
yes.
A lot of people like to use there's a method called the STAR method.
Mm,
Um, I personally haven't really used it as much. I think I use it naturally, but I also do think that that's a great way if you struggle with communication.
mm,
Starting off with the STAR method is important, and you can look that up, and that's something that's very well preached around a lot of internships. But yeah, knowing what questions to expect, knowing what you're going to get into, preparing yourself. You can never over prepare.
mhm.
You want to be over prepared. You know, you want to prepare endlessly because you want to be able to take on any type of question or challenge that comes across, and show that you can do that at work as well.
Yeah. Um, can never be overly prepared. And I'll tell you something, I'm in the middle-ish, towards the end-ish, I don't want to say that, of my career. And I still find it that I need to practice for interviews and I practice for professional conversations, and it never ends. So all the skills that you pick up at the beginning of your career, you keep on sharpening those tools. throughout, right? Throughout.
Hmm.
Doesn't matter level of experience, years, decades, white hair, loss of hair, it's like you keep on practicing, keep on learning.
Yeah.
So good to begin early.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
Anything you
This.
want to discuss here?
Yeah, absolutely. Scroll up a little bit. So this is typical, what you'll see that there's technical and behavioral questions. I know for companies like this, I've recently interviewed at a top company, and I know that technical questions are going to be very important. So it's nice to see that Capable Alma has notified that, and also it gives you a little bit of information about what to expect. Here you can see that it's talking about you'll be writing algorithmic problems involving data structures such as arrays, linked lists, trees, graphs, and hash tables, which is true. You can expect any of those, and they gave you some examples there as well. I think knowing that you can start diving into asking questions. Something that I like to do when I was practicing my coding questions was I would do a practice problem and I would use AI and say, hey, I'm stuck on this problem. Here's what I've done so far. Can you give me an idea of where to go next? Or even if I don't know how to start the problem, a lot of times I'd be like, what is a good way to start this problem? Can I have a hint? And
Mhm.
AI is really good at understanding the problem and know what to do next. So it can really help you at that. So asking what to expect at the company you're applying for, then practicing those questions is kind of the line that you want to follow. Um, and when it comes to behavioral is a little bit more of something that I think you need to practice out loud. Again, asking those, like seeing those questions that can be asked. For example, um, tell me about a time you led a team. That's a common question. Led a team, or you're part of a team project. You want to look at maybe how other people answered, and then you want to think of ways that you can answer yourself. They want to see. Usually, I noticed that when they ask these questions, they're looking for specific things. Tell me how you led a team. They're trying to see how your leadership is. Tell me the time you collaborated with a team. They're trying to see your collaboration tactics. So there's always an underlying reason they're asking this question, and try to make sure you pinpoint that and answer that every time that you interview. I think that's very important. And yeah, Capable Alma is really good at letting you know what questions to expect, and that's what you want to focus on as well. And keep asking questions. Um, Also, yeah, situational questions. You can expect that. Tell me how you've solved a difficult problem in the past. It's very popular. I've been asked that at least twice, and you can expect to answer that. Um, and I think overall it's great to see teamwork questions. You're going to expect a lot of these, and you want to make sure that you're practicing them. This part is just as important as the technical. I know the technical everyone dreads, but this is just as important because they know that your technical ability will grow and continue to grow. You're an intern, but they want to see how you fit on a team, right? Because they're hiring you at the end of the day. Your skills are going to grow continuously, but who you are is typically who you are, and you want to make sure that you can relay that clearly.
Mhm. Yeah, great point. Great point. Thank you for sharing. So let's pause here. We could continue going, but I want to invite everybody watching this to tell us uh, how do you want us to use Capable, show you what type of thing, because we can take it from here and go endless number of places, right? From practicing, asking it to unblock us from any specific points. Or if you want us to do this with another company, a company where you're going, or anything, right? Let us know. Also, let us know what else can we help you with around generative AI, around Capable Alma. Maybe Cheyenne does the next one by himself, and I don't need to be here sort of interviewing him.
Yeah.
I sense that a star is being born right now. Uh,
Yeah. I'll
and
be willing to
so
help for sure. Yeah.
that would be terrific, Cheyenne. Okay, any last thoughts for people watching out there
Yeah.
on how to look for interviews, how to use Capable around this?
Yeah, absolutely. So everyone watching that's also a student, I'm been in your shoes. I know it can be kind of daunting, especially if you're new freshman and you're getting into the internship search. Um, just know that you have tools. Era generation is great. It's amazing. You have so many AI tools that you can use, and Capable Alma is right here in front of you that you can log in, create an account, and start asking questions. It's something that I've worked on and I trust as well, and it can help you get to the point you want to be. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to look for resources, And AI is a great way to have all that impact in one place. So use the tools that are in front of you. You know, the job market can be hard, but those who are utilizing tools that are given to them will perform better naturally because they know how to adapt and grow with the tools in front of them. So keep growing, keep trying. Use AI to your advantage. Don't be scared of it. It is a great tool. And I've seen great advantages coming from it, including me. So that's my best recommendation to those trying and learning now.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you, Shian. Thank you for giving us your time. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Let us know how can we help. We're going to share the link of this chat. You can go and see it by yourself, read it fully on Capable. And we're going to include that at the bottom of this video. So whether you're watching this around May of 2024 or December of 2030, it's going to be available. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.